Welcome back to the show. We are now joined by Sports Information Director Clark Teuscher. Clark, thanks for coming on again.
It's good to be here.
Let's start off with the men's track and field team. They're living up to their #1 national ranking with a big win, dominating at home.
Yeah, they almost didn't have the meet with all the snowfall that we had on Friday, and it ended up being a smaller field of competitors than they had anticipated, but still were able to put up 13 performances that rank in the top 15 nationally in Division III at this point, including the top 400 time in Dan Benton and the top 2 4x400 relays, the two teams that ran on Friday. So certainly off to a good start, and I don't think they're moving anywhere from #1 as of right now.
Dan Benton was just one of many Cardinals who had a great day on the track. They won every race except the 3,000 meters, but it was Cardinals all throughout the board, not just first, but they were getting second, third. Do you think that was due to the less competitors, or are the Cardinals just that dominant?
I think it was a little bit of both. A couple of teams that weren't able to come are Carthage and Illinois Chicago. They both got some really outstanding athletes that would have been very competitive in a lot of those events. But really, the team was ready to go. Certainly appeared to be anxious to get started and get down to the business of defending a couple of national titles.
And for the second week in a row, a Cardinal is named the CCIW Track and Field Athlete of the Week. This week, Zach Hirschpink getting it for winning first in the high jump and second in long jump.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a pretty extensive club among the North Cenrtal athletes by the end of the season. We had both the track and the field award winners the previous week, so it's certainly good to see these guys rewarded for their performance.
I'm sure the guys, love it on the team when their teammates do well and they get recognized just as well.
Well, those are things that are brought up every Monday when they meet as a team, and it's certainly something they take very seriously, and it's a great point of pride for those guys, and it should be.
Now, the women's team may not be ranked #1, but they sure look like it too at their home meet as well. The women come away with the first place against the field.
Yeah, a lot of great performances. The distance runners really didn't compete too much in this meet. A lot of them were being held back for just to train through and prepare for some other larger meets later in the season. So it wasn't the entire team, but the ones who did compete certainly showed pretty well for themselves.
And it really seems like the Cardinals have carried their success from cross country over into the track and field season, where even though a lot of them weren't competing, they still dominated the 800 meter through the 3,000 meter race.
Well, it creates a little bit of pressure for the rest of the team when you see that kind of success being had with one part of the program. So certainly the rest of the parts of the team are anxious to prove that they are capable of that kind of success as well.
We'll end it up with men's basketball, just a dominating performance against Millikin, giving up their lowest point total of the season.
And that's kind of been the hallmark of this latest run that the team has been on, is their defense and being able to take away the things that other teams do well. Millikin's a program that's been struggling the last couple of years, so they're really trying to rebuild from the ground up there. But definitely a good showing, really unselfish team-style basketball that Coach Reardon's been preaching from day one.
And it really allowed the Cardinals the chance to get a lot of guys in there that haven't really seen the court this year.
Yeah, and that's always good to get guys game experience and give them a chance to experience some success and against some varsity competition to kind of fuel that work ethic for the coming weeks and months.
What do you think the coach was more impressed with? The fact that they only gave up 37 points, or the fact that they shot over 50% from the field in the entire game?
Knowing Coach Reardon is probably the defense. That's the one thing that he's harped on all season long, and he really the things that he asks them to do defensively are not really very easy things, and it takes a lot of repetition, a lot of drill. So I'm sure that seeing the defense come along to that point was a very proud moment for him.
Clark, thanks so much again for coming on and joining us.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have for this week's Cardinal Report. Make sure to catch us next week as the #1 nationally ranked Cardinals men's indoor track and field team join us for the very latest in North Cenrtal College athletics. I'm Marc Dahlquist. See you right back here next week on the Cardinal Report.